Gorilla used to be able to sit still. Gorilla used to be able to read a whole page without checking anything. Now Gorilla opens one app to check the time and comes back to reality 4 hours later holding a banana he doesn't remember picking up. Gorilla didn't get dumber. Gorilla got hijacked. Here's the setup. Gorilla has a brain built over millions of years to survive a jungle. That brain is now trapped in a glowing rectangle designed by teams of very smart humans whose entire job is making sure Gorilla never puts the rectangle down. This is not a fair fight. This was never a fair fight. Part 1. The jungle brain versus the feed. In the actual jungle, new information meant something. A strange sound meant danger or dinner. Gorilla's brain evolved to snap toward anything new, anything unexpected, anything that might matter for survival. That instinct kept Gorilla's ancestors alive. Now that same instinct fires every time a screen lights up. New video, new comment, new notification. Gorilla's ancient survival brain cannot tell the difference between a leopard is nearby and someone liked your post. Both feel urgent. Only one of them is real.
Part 2. Nobody designed the feed to help Gorilla. Gorilla assumed the app just shows things Gorilla might like. That's technically true, but it's not the goal. The actual goal is simple. Keep Gorilla's eyes on the screen as long as possible. Every design choice serves that one goal. The infinite scroll, so there's never a natural stopping point. The autoplay, so the next video starts before Gorilla can decide not to watch it. The like counter, so Gorilla checks back to see if strangers approved of him. None of this is an accident. None of this is Gorilla being weak. It's an entire industry of very smart people optimizing against one dumb, ancient, easily distracted gorilla brain. And it's working exactly as designed. Part 3. The variable reward trap. Here's the part that actually explains why Gorilla can't stop. If every video was equally good, Gorilla would get bored fast. But the feed isn't consistent. Sometimes it's boring. Sometimes it's hilarious. Sometimes it's the most interesting thing Gorilla has seen all week. Gorilla never knows which one is coming next. That unpredictability is the exact same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. It's called a variable reward. Gorilla's brain doesn't chase the content. Gorilla's brain chases the uncertainty. One more swipe. One more. Just one more. And somehow it's midnight and Gorilla has learned nothing except what 40 different strangers ate for breakfast.
Part 4. Dopamine isn't the enemy. Misunderstanding it is. Gorilla hears dopamine and thinks it means pleasure. That's not quite right. Dopamine is more like a signal that says, this might be worth repeating, go again. It's a prediction, not a reward. That's why Gorilla can feel worse after 2 hours of scrolling instead of better. The dopamine was firing on anticipation the whole time, not on actual satisfaction. Studying a hard subject gives Gorilla almost no dopamine hits along the way. Open a textbook, and the brain gets silence. No notification, no little red dot, no dopamine at all until maybe an exam weeks later. Compare that to the feed, which delivers a tiny hit every few seconds. Gorilla's brain isn't broken for preferring the feed. Gorilla's brain is doing exactly what it was trained to do by which activity actually pays it. Part 5. Gorilla is not fighting willpower. Gorilla is fighting design. This matters because most advice tells Gorilla to just try harder. Delete the app, use more discipline, want it more. But willpower is a terrible long-term strategy against a system engineered by hundreds of people specifically to beat willpower. Gorilla is not lazy for losing that fight. Gorilla is just outnumbered. The real fix isn't fighting the feed head-on every single time. It's changing the environment so the fight barely has to happen. Part 6. 4 ways Gorilla can take the brain back. Step 1. Make the bad choice slower. Log out of the app instead of staying logged in. Move it off the home screen. Add a few seconds of friction. Most scrolling isn't a decision, it's a reflex. And reflexes lose power the second there's a delay in front of them. Step 2. Give the brain a real variable reward somewhere else. This is the actual trick. Gorilla doesn't need to kill the craving for unpredictability. Gorilla needs to redirect it. Flashcards with a shuffle button. A workout with random exercise picks. A reading list where Gorilla doesn't know which chapter comes next. Same unpredictability. Aimed at something that builds Gorilla instead of just distracting him. Step 3. Protect one deep block a day. Not the whole day, not some impossible schedule overhaul. One block, phone in another room, one task, start to finish. That's the block where actual progress happens. Because deep focus can't survive next to a phone that might light up any second. Step 4. Ask where the dopamine is going. Every time Gorilla reaches for the phone on autopilot, 1/2-second question changes everything. Is this feeding someone else's platform, or is this feeding Gorilla's own life? Not from guilt, just from awareness. Awareness alone breaks a huge chunk of the autopilot. Part 7. This isn't about quitting fun forever. Gorilla is allowed to scroll. Gorilla is allowed to enjoy dumb videos about capybaras and inexplicably satisfying pressure washing. The problem was never entertainment existing. The problem is entertainment becoming the entire diet, until anything that requires patience starts feeling like punishment. Gorilla's brain isn't defective. It's just running very old software on a very new and very hostile system. The algorithm didn't beat Gorilla because Gorilla is weak. It beat Gorilla because it was built by teams of engineers with data, budgets, and one single job: keep the eyes on the screen. Gorilla was never given a fair fight, but now Gorilla knows the trick. And once Gorilla can see the trap, it stops working the same way it used to. The Gorilla says thanks. Like this video? Toss him a subscribe. It keeps the bananas coming.